Hello everybody, just a short little video here. It's a kind of tips and guides type video, like back when I was explaining the different types of towers and whatnot. Only this time I'd like to go specifically towards these last few levels here, where they're quite, like this one even says it's labyrinthian. Yeah, there's a lot of different paths and whatnot, and I think I'll use this one as a very good example. Lockdown would also be a good example. So, before you start trying to get gold medals, even on story mode, you should just go ahead and try and just beat the game, not worrying about gold medals or anything like that. Just go ahead and play through every single level, get a feel for how the levels progress and everything like that, and don't go into these blind trying to get gold medals or anything like that. And probably makes sense to get a gold medal on story before you even bother with story challenge. But what works in story may not very well work in story challenge mode, just to give you a idea. But besides all those, there are different modes to play on. None of these I've played on Waste Disposal. Where you've got all kinds of different things you can do. Single core is where there's only one core in the housing. Grinder is where it's just walkers, which is the very first type of alien you run into besides the drones in the very first level, which are just practice things. They're not even aliens. But it's for 99 levels, and they get really powerful at the end. On this one you can only build 20 towers, and Super Grinder, where it's even tougher, I guess. And here, the exit and the entrance are reversed, blah blah blah. What you are looking for, not every mission has this, especially the first ones probably won't have this, but there's something usually called with practice mode, and this is even in the downloadable content. And what you're looking for with this is you start with 20k resources, but you don't ever get any more resources from either having cores in the housing or having killing aliens. You don't get any more resources. You start with 20k and that's all you get. And it says right here, perfect your strategies, and that's exactly what you're going for here. You start off with just so many resources, and you're looking at this level and you're thinking to yourself, God, I just don't know where to go. And then you know, you can just play this several times in practice mode and think to yourself, well, I could have them go up this way, so on and so forth, if I had had the towers built like this, or something like that, and then have them go around here, and then I don't want them to come back to the exit this way. I want them to walk around this way and go up this path and double back on these towers and everything, and then go this way for the exit or something like that. And you just start off with so many resources that you can think these various things to yourself. And no, I don't know if this is a viable strategy. Probably not, because there's not as much double back as I would personally. Well, I don't know. You double back on these, you double back on these, and some of these you get double back on. It's just that this first set of towers you don't get, and you built 4. I hate that. That's what I hate. But you know, it's your own personal taste. That's something you could do. Or maybe you want them to go up around this way right away, but then there's not really any way you can circle around too much. But anywho, yeah, I mean, just experiment around and play around in practice mode. This is the best way for these ones where you've got lots of different paths, and it's a maze before you build your maze, if you know what I mean. Or something like Turnabout, where oh, okay, so this is kind of like practice mode, only they're tougher, and it's also got a practice mode, so that's nice. It's 2 different modes where you start off with 20k. But yeah, like where you've got just so many places to build and so many entrances and whatnot. Maybe you want them to circle around up here. Maybe you want them to start here and work around this way and go down in here and then have to go back up that way or something like that. I mean, I don't know. But you know, you can play around in practice mode And here's the key thing that I want to leave you off with, food for thought. Remember that on practice mode it says that the aliens are easier. So what this is it's just a way to come up with an idea for a maze to make out of towers. It's not going to be necessarily a viable, this is the order you should build and upgrade, because whenever you get to story challenge mode especially, you're going to find out that the aliens are just so much tougher. And even in story mode, they're tougher than they are in practice. So, I mean, this is really just a way to come up with ideas on how to make them loop back on towers as often, or find a good place to build a temporal around inside a cluster or something like that. That's the best way. And I've used it a lot. I used it a lot when I was doing story mode. For story challenge mode, I haven't actually used it that much. I just come up with ideas as I play. I guess it's because I've played so much. But I mean, if you're getting, like, if you're starting off trying to get gold medals on these earlier ones, yeah, they don't have a practice mode. But I mean, they are slightly easier. And that one doesn't even have any other different modes at all. Here we go. Out of fuel has the first practice. So yeah, that's what mission 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, okay. So on the 5th mission, they start giving you practice mode to come up with ideas, and not on 6 though, of course. Well, way to make a liar out of me. Anyways, it's really only going to be extremely helpful on the places where you're not quite so sure. Well, gee, how the heck? You just look at this and you think to yourself, how the heck am I going to build anything here? Look at all these different places they could go. I don't even know how to start building. Well, start off in practice mode, and you'll have so many different resources to play around with. So usually not as many as you'll ultimately end up getting when you can actually get resources for killing aliens. In story challenge mode, they usually send a lot of tough aliens your way, so you'll be able to build like tons and tons of towers. But yeah, just play around with it and perfect your strategies, like it says. It's good advice. I recommend that. So, see you guys for the final mission.